Hello and welcome to the Vanguard tonight. We have got a fantastic video. It's going to be the power of blessing. It's going to be claiming some amazing gratitude. Oh my gosh, it's going to be really good. And there's going to be a super special bonus at the end of amazing things that you're going to get to claim if you push through. So I wanted to tell you first, start off with a story that's kind of like what you're going to get from doing the exercise. And then you also still get those special gifts at the end. So it goes way back to when I was in high school, senior year. And, you know, we had the school play, right? And that year is Guys and Dolls. And I guess, I don't know, I was older or I don't know what it is. I had never gone to a school play before then. My brother and sister were in, you know, my brother was in theater, my sister did performing arts. So it's kind of like they were all doing that. I was more the athletes. I did, you know, sports and stuff like that. But lo and behold, it was like someone asked me or something was like, oh, let's go to the school play. And I was like, sure. Hey, why not? Let's do that. It'd be fun. But then somehow another group of people asked me or something to where I was going twice. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure about that. But guess what happened? It turned out I was going twice on the same day. Whoops. Okay, yeah, that was a mistake. So I'm going into this thinking like, man, really? I mean, because I wasn't like super looking forward to the play. I mean, it was kind of fun because I got to hang out with friends and something new. But it's like, you know, it's a high school play. It's not like they're like super professionals and stuff like that. At least I had in my mind. And then I was like, I'm going to see it twice in the same night. Really? Oh gosh. Right. So I watched the first one and I was actually way more engaged because these are my peers. These are people I've seen in class and like didn't know that they were going to be acting. And it was just like, what? You can act? That was good. Oh my gosh. Oh, you know, so I was excited from that. I was like, wow, that was a surprise. But then now I was going to watch the second time. I was going to be like, oh, really great. I've just watched this play. Really? So, you know, everybody leaves. I come back, you know, sit down. Friends are there. Watch it again. And oh my gosh, it was so riveting because it brought to life that is live. Like it was not the same play that I had just seen. You know, there are so many parts that were different. I mean, because they're staying in a slightly different spot. They might make different facial expressions. They might emphasize different words. And all of a sudden I'm like, I just saw this play with these people and it's completely different. And you saw like all these places where they had made mistakes in the first play and they didn't make it in the second one or vice versa, where you're like, hey, wait a second. Oh my, and you could see where the other person covered for them, where they messed up their line, but the other person interjected and they're kind of like improving and stuff like that. And it's just like, it just brought to life the play so much more by seeing it back to back and just being like, oh my gosh, like it was a game changer. So if you ever get the chance, I highly, highly recommend watching the play twice because it really brings to life that this is live. And it's nothing I could explain. You've got to experience it to where you're just like mind blown of like, oh my gosh, what did I just see? Truly, it's amazing. So hopefully you'll stick with me on this next part. We're going to be blessing other people because you're going to get similar life-changing experience of like, I was not expecting that. So what we're going to do is we're going to bless other people with something that you want, something that you're working towards or want to have in your life, especially if you've been struggling to get it. That's better to choose something like that. And the really thing about that is like, one, we want to get into joy of like, oh, I'm so excited for them to have it, right? And you might find that you're not, it's like hard. It's like, no, I don't want them to give them that. That's mine. I want it. But you got to understand, for you to give something to someone else, you have to have it. Right? By you being able to give it to someone else, you have to have it. You've claimed it for yourself. It's yours. But if it's like, oh, I don't want them to have it because then I'll miss out, that means you don't have it already. Right? And we're going to be giving it to 5 people, which means you've had to claim that you've got 5 of that. Right? So it's really starting to open you up. And then you can also do in the prayer, right? Because we're going to be seeing them really get into like they're getting that and their excitement, their joy from getting that. But if we have like resistance, we can't quite do that. We still do the process of like, I choose that they're going to have, you know, excitement and joy. And like, I choose to feel excitement and joy for blessing them with this because you can choose it, even if you're not feeling it. And then ask source, God, universe to heal you, you know, like heal me, like heal that part of me that doesn't let me give this to someone I care about. And it'd be good to choose someone. I mean, definitely start off with people like you really care about because that'll make it easier to kind of get in the flow. But then it'd be ideal to choose 1 or 2 people that maybe you don't super care about, had a little row with, maybe it's a little friction there, because that deepens that ability to give. Because obviously there's some people that, like, you give the shirt off your back, just boom, you need it, good, you can have it, right? And that, yeah, then obviously you'd give the last that you have to them. But then if you take a person that's like, oh, I wouldn't, nah, you ain't getting the shirt off my back, and you might not even be getting my handshake, that kind of thing, that really pulls in that abundance of that gift that you're looking for, that thing that you want in your life. Because if you're able to give that away to someone that you don't have that deep connection with, how abundant must you have to be? I don't have 5 of them, I got 20 of them. And it's like, you know what? I'm feeling kind of nice. Let me just kick you down one. Boom. So it's kind of like we're conditioning that. Plus, you're going to get amazing gifts at the end as well by doing this process. This is the ones you don't know are coming that are game changers. So let's get in there. Think of something that you want, possibly that you've been struggling to get, but think of that in your life, and you're going to picture this other person like getting that, like really get into like, okay, they're getting that, like their joy, like their excitement of like, oh my gosh, they got that, or we're picking things that, more of like a general thing. Like if you had like a financial goal or a health goal or a relationship goal, but you wouldn't necessarily pick that person. Like if there's a specific person you're pursuing, yeah, you don't kind of want to give them the 5 other people. I get that. But you want to give the love, the connection, that experience, that relationship that you want, not necessarily the person. Just to clear that up. So we're going to see them, and they're going to have that, and just how much would their life be changed? What struggles are they going through that they would get this, and then they'd just be like, over the moon. So you're seeing that, you're seeing them have that. Just getting really intense. You don't have to put your hands in prayer. You can put your hands out, whichever way you want to bless them. It's like you're just seeing them have that, right? And you're like, yeah, they get that. Yes, I want to see them have that, right? It's like you're giving that to them. Like you're opening yourself up to that. Now we're going to pick another person, right? So I pick another person, like, oh, okay, get excited. Like, okay, I want to give them that. They give that. You can see them getting that, achieving that. Just seeing the joy. Like, let your unconscious bring forth of, like, what that would look like, what they would say, right? And see them blessed with that of, like, oh my God, yes. It just be like, what would they do? What are their unique things? Or what's their unique expression going to be? Like, okay. Right, now we're gonna go to person number 3, right? Gonna pick them and see them. It's just like, how would you guess that they would respond if they're, are they just like, yeah, I did it, or like, what, how, like just see it, just be like, just so happy for them. They'll be like, it's happening for them. It's like, yes, yes, yes. All right, so we're gonna take number 4. We're pushing this. Give that blessings. And if you feel if it's a resistance, that's fine. That's totally okay. That's where you ask source. I'm like, hey, God, make that change in my heart. Because I choose to give this. I choose to give this in joy. Please help me. And oh my gosh, you'll get amazing results with that too. Okay, so we're going to look at person number 4. We're going to see them get, like, what's the response? And what is like, oh my gosh. It's just so wonderful to see them. They got that. They wanted it. It's like, yay. Awesome, awesome. So we're going to go number 5. And if you need a challenge, maybe choose that person you're like, you got a little row with or something like that. And just like, let's give it to them, because this is something we're going to divinely, spiritually bless this thing that you want to you. So if it goes to them, it makes them better too. So let's give that to them. So come on, think about that. Think about that person, opening their heart of like, yeah, we could give that to them too. I've got it in spades. I can give it to them too. Yeah, like you just see them like, how would that change for them? What would they be like? It's like, no way. Oh, is that what, unconscious spirit source brings through? And you see the picture of that happening. Just get that connection, feel that of like, yeah, I didn't expect that to happen. Yes. All right, so you've done the blessings. You probably obviously feel way different right now of like, wow, I do feel really good. Just being able to bless them, or even just knowing, I'm like, how I was asking source to heal that. And maybe you even got the healing right then and there of like, wow, that opened up for me. I feel more abundant in that area. I feel like that can come to me better. But now this is the big gifts that I was talking about, is to really, that we can be grateful for, is that first one is that we have the ability to change. I mean, how amazing is that? That we get to change. Because just imagine if the day was the same day over and over and over, just like Groundhog's Day, just never changed, always the same, never changing. But then waking up to like, oh, wait a second, we get to change. We get to be different. Like how you're blessing your friends of like, you're seeing them different. You're seeing them behave different now that they had gotten this blessing of like how awesome was that? But that we get to change. How awesome is that? And now we're in presence to the gratitude, and blessings help get us there of like, wow, we get to change. That's huge. It's probably a blessing we have never taken. You know, it's like, whoa, wait, we get to change. That's big. The next one is we get to have intention. We get to choose that change. You know, it's not that we like just press the change button. We're like, okay, let's see I hope what shows up is good. It's like we get to have intention of what that is. Because we had the thing that we wanted or struggling to have in our lives, and we got to intend to give that to another person, to give that to our friends. So we had agency to choose that direction, that change. So now we get to change, but we also get to choose it. What direction is this? Might not be exactly that way, but we get to choose to like what we're going to go after, what we want to change. We get to choose, as opposed to like, well, guess what? You need to go change that. And you're like, what? I kind of like that. I want to keep that. It's like, no, you got to do it. It's like, no, we get to choose. We get to choose. We get to have intention on what the change is. So that's our second thing to be like, we can be so grateful for that. They're like, oh my gosh, we get to choose that. We get to. That's a blessing for us. That's a gift of like, oh, I'm so grateful that I get to intend what my change is going to be. And then the third one is that we get to have faith. We get to have faith it's going to work out. We got to employ faith just to do this video, just to do the blessings of like, hey, if you do blessings, you're going to feel better and experience that. I mean, just imagine going through life if you had no faith and how miserable that would be. Because you know, if you bumped up to a thing you're about to do and you feel like you got no faith of it working out, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to face that. So imagine a life without faith that's going to work out, or that something is going to happen. That'd be misery, but we get that. 24 hours a day, we get to have faith. And I hope that's getting you in touch with that, with doing the blessings and realizing that we're having faith that this is going to work out. And that like, oh, we're claiming that. Like, we get to have faith. I mean, oh my gosh, what a gift. We get it. We get it. We get to change. We get to intend what that change is going to be. And we get to have faith beforehand that it's going to work out. That change is going to happen. It's going to work. We get to have that. And the fourth one, which is probably the biggest, is we get to connect to a higher power. We get to like, have faith that, hey, I've got this vision, and that God, the universe, and everything will conspire to help bring that about. Will help bring those people to me. And like, when I pray for my friend to get that God's listening and helping be like, oh, okay, let's see what we can put in that person's path to bring that about, to give them that. And we get that. We get that joy to be able to connect, that there is a higher power. And we get to connect, and we get to pray, and we get to have that connection and that back and forth, and that's there. And that, how awesome is that we get that in our life. We get to connect to a higher power. And it's just like the gratitude you can have, like just from doing prayers for other people, really connects you to like, oh my gosh, I get to change. And then I also have agency. I get to intend what that change is. And then furthermore, I even get to have faith that it's going to work out, that I'm going to get it. And then fourth, I've got a higher power that's watching over me and helping make that happen with all this big world, helping me make that happen. And we get all that. Like that's ours. We get to claim that 24 hours a day, 24/7. We probably never done that before. Like, oh my gosh, get to claim all that. And just blessing another is a way to kind of really bring that in of like, oh my gosh, that's a way for me to claim all that. And that's why it feels so good to be able to do that and to really give that to another person while opening ourselves up. So I hope with that, you've had the magic of this video. I really want to appreciate you for being here, and thank you for being part of my tribe. And until we talk again, have a blessed day or a blessed night.